All right, greetings everyone, and welcome to the 66th edition of
Yeah.
Cinema Effect. Not being here. I mean, I'm shit with that anyway, but not being here for a week also threw me off a bit. I'm Zach, and I've returned to save the show from the abyss, and I'm joined by Disney's number one hater, Jaden,
Hi.
and PTA's number one fanboy, aka Fitzy, aka Liam.
Hey.
Hi. This is Cinema Effect. I
After that.
thought about it. Oh my god, we're linked somehow spiritually. That was amazing. I was tempted to somehow brand this like Cinema Effect After Dark, and I don't know, do something with the thumbnail or something fancy. But like, no one else appreciates it, do they? It goes up at the exact same time. No one can even see the video. Like, if there was video, at least there'd be a little bit of like, oh look, it does look a bit darker than normal. But it's really just for us, isn't it? No one else would give a shit. But
yeah.
In our hearts and minds, I just want to throw out there that this is Cinema Effect After Dark, including me wearing my pajamas right now. So I want you all to imagine that really specifically. Very good. I just wanted to give you a second to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. And this week, that movie is Luca, which debuted on Disney Plus on the 18th of June 2021. It was directed by, Lord help me, Enrico Casarosa. It is an animated adventure film, and the synopsis reads, on the Italian Riviera, an unlikely but strong friendship grows between a human being and a sea monster disguised as a human. That's wrong, right?
That's wrong.
That's not the movie we watched, because they're both sea monsters, and that's unless like it's counting the Ranger girl, but even then it's like it's the two sea monsters become friends with her. That must be like an old thing that they kept. No one's updated that. Anyway, guys, what do you think of Luca? Fitzy, give it to me straight. Don't bullshit me.
Yeah, it was fine, I guess. Very, very, very cliched in a lot of ways, and the animation. I thought the fish animation was really cool. The animation with the humans was not as cool. It was, I don't know. It felt like a short film, kind of. It felt like a long short film, especially in the concept and everything. It was just, yeah, it's incredibly meh, I guess. Yeah.
Thanks for stealing one of my notes.
Stealing
stealing one of my lines, Jaden. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know, because like, well, while I was watching it, and then even afterwards, I was thinking like, there's really not much I can criticize about the movie. I think the characters are one note, and I think it's overly generic. I think they're the only two things. But like, even in cases of movies like that before, I think I've given like decent scores, and it's just that I just can't I can't bring myself to rate this highly. You know, it's this really strange feeling it's left me with, where it's hard to criticize, but I just don't feel like it's, you know, very good. I do. It's good, but it's not very good.
Yeah, I agree. It just ain't. It ain't it. You know, like it's a sweet little movie. I want to come in with a bit more of a bit more positivity, but I do feel like we're at the same level, to be clear. But, you know, it mostly breezed by for me. It's a short film. It's for the most part, well-paced film, and it has a lot of personality. And here's the exact line that Fizzy stole from me. It just feels like... Actually, let me change it up because Fitzy, his thought about it feeling like a short film is absolutely correct. For me, it feels like the most quote-unquote Disney Plus original of the three Pixar movies we've had on Disney Plus so far. I think Soul felt like a theatrical film when I watched it on Disney Plus. Onward literally was a theatrical film, but just got shifted over quick. This felt like, okay, even though I would assume in its early stages of development it was never meant to be a Disney Plus original, I don't know, but it very much felt like it the whole way in terms of the scale and the story and everything. It just didn't connect with me that much, you know. And I think my enjoyment was affected by that reduction in scale, rather. But it was an easy movie to digest, and it was cute. I thought it was decent. You know, I wouldn't. I'm with you guys. I wouldn't rave. Certainly not a bad movie by any means, but it was cool. All right, let's talk about the art style a little bit. I totally agree with Fitzy. I think everything underwater is really cool, and I think it's just because I mean Pixar does this great thing where they always introduce us to these really cool like fantastical worlds they create. That's one of the main things I really loved about Onward as well, and they sort of do it here with the underwater elements and all that stuff's cool. The humans are a bit, you know, they look a bit cutesy. You know, is that fair to say, Jane? Do you sort of get that vibe from it? Like, it feels when I look at Soul, right, and the humans in that movie, like it's obviously all stylized, but like they're not creating CG renders of people, but you know what I mean? Like, it just feels like everything's well rounded and feels like it could belong on like Disney Channel. You know what I mean?
Isn't that just Pixar depicting Europe though? Like try because like don't they always do that for like European characters where they exaggerate the nose, give them a bit rounder, longer neck or some shit. Like I feel don't they have like a trend of doing that?
I think you might be right. That you definitely get a bit of. That's a good point. You get in Ratatouille a little bit too, but dude, that bully character. With talk about the exaggerated nose and everything, that bully character, he was like the most generic looking. Yeah, triangle, yeah. He was like on his face. He was totally like straight out of the sketchbook with what I'm talking about here. Yeah,
They're either always like round or like an oval. You know, they're
right.
very exaggerated. Yeah, but they're usually round. Like most faces in the film are like bowls. Yeah.
But they are. That's 100% true. And when you like in Soul, right? They're all like everyone's like a pencil, you know.
Yeah.
Apart from that one hairdresser.
Yeah. That's right. And the good jazz player, whatever her name was, she wasn't. I don't think. Anyway. So yeah, that was the movie looked weird to me. Would you agree with that, Jane? I don't know if like.
No, not really.
Okay.
I remember when the first promotional poster came out, and the animation, like, because like it was kind of like this.
Oh, I remember we talked about this on the show, didn't we?
Jumping off the cliff and whatever, and like
yeah.
It kind of looks a bit more cartoony than animated, and like it kind of looks like a blend between it. And like I think I've seen like I think I saw like maybe the trailer, but I didn't really take it in. But like I was expecting the animation to be a bit more different than what it was. But this felt very traditional, Pixar with a little tiny bit of difference, just like a zest of change.
The introduction of circles.
Yeah. But no, I don't think it looked weird. I actually really enjoyed the way it looked. I think the town is really awesome looking.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Absolutely. The architecture of the town. I mean, do any of those sort of like Italian towns? They just look terrific, and like, how can anyone make them look shit? I don't know if that's you have to really go out of your way, but they do look really pretty in the movie, and of course I mean, all the environments are gorgeous. All the water is. I love looking at the water, dude. I love doing that. The water's amazing. Well, like we said, the water creatures all look cool, and shout out to the uncle. Who had dude, that's obviously like a real species of fish, I'd imagine. I don't know anything about fish, but like with the transparent, you can see the heart. That was terrible. I hated that. Like that was terrible.
Don't you see one of those in Finding Nemo?
You see oh, you might too actually. Yeah, because they're the dudes line, with the line on their head. Yeah. I guess. Did you guys see the post-credit scene with him?
Yeah.
What would you rate that out of 10?
Best part of the movie.
Did you see it, Fitzy?
No.
Oh, it's amazing. You got to go back and watch it.
Right now?
No, you don't. You really don't. Look, that's an acceptable segue, I'd say. I want to ask you straight, Fitzy, all right? Did you find the movie funny?
Wait, was it ever trying to be funny? I don't know.
Yeah, right? It was, right? It was trying to be funny. Or maybe I'm mistaking that for just trying to be charming,
No, because like that scene like when they're on the boats and then like the villain, I can't remember, is like E. coli or something like that. He's like, you slap him, and like no, slap him harder, and like that was meant to be funny.
Right.
It tried to be funny in moments.
Yeah, and then when they had the race and the dude was getting because he poured syrup on him or some shit and the fish attacked him.
Yeah.
I'm asking these questions because I'm just trying to sort of directly attack the criteria for what I would consider a good animated film. You know what I mean? On the surface, of course, the story is most important, but I'm just talking about like, does it make us chuckle? You know, does it look good? I didn't really find the movie very funny. I feel like there's so many jokes that missed. I honestly I enjoyed the movie, but I don't even think I smiled as a result of a gag. You know,
Made me chuckle a few times.
good. I'm glad. Yeah. I mean, the part I found funniest would have been, I did really enjoy like the parents like having no idea what their kid looked like. You know, as they're like, because they don't know what their son looks like in human form, and he's like the dad's like abusing these children. Well, they're both abusing the children. I thought that was pretty funny.
I forgot about those little moments. I guess, like, in terms of humor, Black Widow did make me laugh a few times. I thought the
Yeah.
dad character was pretty funny, but I can't think of anything with this, so no, it wasn't funny. It was morbid. It wasn't. Yeah,
It was morbid.
Morbid.
No,
Movies have to be one or the other, no in between.
Yeah.
Funny or
Yeah,
morbid.
yeah, exactly. Dude, Black Widow was hilarious. This was The Last of Us, man. What do you guys think of the characters? This is one of those movies, right? I feel like this sums up like
it's hard to
what
discuss, yeah.
it sums up sort of what we got at the start. Where it's one of those movies like it was cool, it was fine. Like it's there's not a whole lot to dive into. I don't think, you know what I mean. But hey, we're doing a show. We're going to do it. We're going to dive into whatever there is.
Well, before you dive into characters, how do you feel about the voice performances of the two main characters?
That's a great question. So you had the one dude, the main kid, whose
Luca.
name is Luca.
Yes.
I almost hesitated, and he's played by the dude from Wonder, the
Is that
child,
the kid from It that gets his arm chomped.
I don't remember that, but at the start.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Wait,
I remember.
I don't know if you're right about. I don't know. Isn't it Tremblay in the thing? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's his name, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
That is him.
He's not enough, but
what?
Yeah.
No, he's in It.
He's not in It. Sorry, but,
he isn't It. Yeah. He's Georgie.
He's not Georgie.
He's Georgie.
Fitzy, he's not in Up. God damn it! He was 3.
He probably was.
Genuinely, yeah. I mean, I've always liked him. I thought he was great in that Wonder movie. I like that movie, to be honest. But that's the only thing I know him from. Do you know him from anything else, Jaden? It seems like you might.
Oh, yeah.
You got him in It.
Apparently, maybe it might not have been him in It. Hold on. Is it?
It's not.
He was in The Predator as well.
He's not in It, but yeah, he's in Room. He's good in Room.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Who's the kid at the start of It then?
It's just he's not even famous, that guy. He's just, that kid.
Just a child actor. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, this kid. Okay, no, I do know this kid as well because I just saw he's all right. Don't worry. It's all over the place, man. Back to the performance.
So he was decent, I thought. And then, do you guys know who the other dude was? I didn't.
He's from
It. He's from It. That's
he's
right.
from
It.
Yeah.
He's like Glazer or something.
Jack Dylan. He's also in Shazam.
Yeah, Jack Dylan. Great. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So wait, is he the friend in Shazam, or is he the young Shazam?
He's the friend.
Yeah, he's a friend.
Yeah.
I liked him in that role. Okay.
And I think in It, he's the kid that's like who's like with the overprotective mother.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I liked them. I liked them in the movie. I'm glad we got to the bottom of who they were. Not really. They had good chemistry. It's sort of hard to judge chemistry in animated films sometimes because I don't know if they're always actually recording together, you know? So it's sort of weird saying they have good chemistry when like they're just shouting isolated lines. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't complain. I think that the Wonder Kid's a talented actor anyway, and he brought it. At the end of the day, to be honest, if it's a vocal performance, especially from a child actor, I feel bad calling him a child actor. He's probably like 14 or something, but when you're getting a vocal performance from someone that age, basically, I'd consider like your work masterful if I don't notice it. You know what I mean? So I thought he did a great job. The only other cast member I did know was Maya Rudolph was in this movie.
Yeah.
Was she the mum?
Yeah.
She's of course connection, guys. It all connects. She's PTA's wife. It all comes together. It all comes.
She's married to Paul Thomas Anderson.
She is.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He
used to be married to Fiona Apple, and before that, there was another singer, and then Maya Rudolph. Yeah.
Jaden's having a stroke at this information.
Dude, just she and PTA just seem on like opposite ends of the spectrum.
I get that because isn't she in the Grown Ups movies?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. There you go. They probably met through Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
you're probably right.
If you watch like PTA in person, like in interviews, he's just this really like fun-loving, like joke cracking guy. So I don't know, it's funny, but yeah, I don't know. His persona is different from what you'd think, I guess.
Yeah, sure. From his work, if he had a letterbox, if you fired up Paul and letterbox, you probably look through it. Like has Grown Ups as 5 stars.
Yeah, Jack and Jill. Yeah, well, not Jack and Jill. What's the good Adam Sandler film where he's like Billy Madison? I don't know.
Yeah, Billy Madison's always a good one.
The one where he's like in the 10th grade or 3rd grade or whatever.
Yeah, that's Billy Madison.
Okay,
that's so funny. But there was no one else of note, right? I didn't miss anyone because I did have a look.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't because like I was like clicking through like each of their names and like each of them only had like a few credits on their attached. So.
We should probably talk about the story, at least a little bit. Let's attempt to. It covers familiar ground. I think that's fair to say, but it's well executed. In what it's trying to do, it has the smaller scale. It's a story of friendship and all the sort of hero's journey trappings in the context of a child. He's trying to go and he wants to explore the world. He makes friends and he's accepted by the larger community of people. I must say, I don't know how you felt about this, Jane. I feel like everyone in the town did like accept the fact that there were sea monsters like walking amongst them pretty quickly. You know what I mean? Not that I want like a realistic interpretation of that necessarily, but I felt like
they want to get hanged.
Witnessing lynchings on this shit. Oh my god, that'd be horrifying. Yeah, I don't know. Did you feel that at all, or not really? Whatever.
Nah, it's fine. It's all fine. Yeah,
it's
all it. Look. They obviously it's all it's allegorical for and like it's obvious they wanted the guys to be gay, but they couldn't because they'd kill the Asian market. But like,
oh god,
what?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, exactly. The only reason Spieler exists is so like they can be like, oh no, China, look, he is a straight person.
Who the hell's Spieler?
I don't know who that is.
Julia, the Ranger, because they call her Spieler at the start.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
What do they call her that for?
Because she throws up when she does the race.
Oh, right. Oh.
Jeez, so, did you even watch the movie? Like, honestly, fuck, jeez.
Yeah, right. But, dude, that bully character was just not it. You know what I mean?
Did he look like Vector from Despicable Me?
I love how you know that character by name. Like, everyone remembers Vector.
How can you not remember Vector? Vector's iconic. What do you mean?
Oh, my God. I guess he does. Sure. Oh my god. I don't know how much I actually agree with like the whole they were meant to be gay thing. You know? Like I get it. I totally get it. But like it's not that obvious, right? I feel like I don't know. Okay, let me put it this way.
It's not that obvious because I have to turn it down. But I mean, like,
by your name didn't exist. Would anyone say this?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was abundantly clear, really.
Okay. All right.
But just enough that they could get it past censors and without having to edit it down.
That's so funny. Yeah. So they have to screen it to like the board or the board or whatever, and it's just like none of these old white dudes noticed. We're in the clear. If you got any more any more deliberate, they would have noticed. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's like, I mean, I thought that would have been a cool element of the movie, I guess. But I feel like the movie works fine without it. You know what I mean? I guess my point is that if it were an element that were in the movie, it's not like, oh shit, that would have made the movie so much better or anything. You know what I mean? It's just like, it would have been cool for a Disney movie to do that, I guess. But it doesn't really elevate the story to another level. You know what I mean?
works fine with the friendship.
Yeah, totally. And then you had dude, we're going to get to Luke's review soon. I'm so glad that he said it. The Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. That dude. Did anyone else think that? Did you guys think that? They look like the dad from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
It wasn't in my head, but now that you say it.
Oh, okay. I actually have it as a note here, which I promise. I mean, there's no obviously way to prove this. I promise I wrote this before Luke said it. So just want to convey we're on the same page with that. And then the Ranger character, she was alright.
Yeah. When like when Luca was like, yeah, no, I'll show you where to fish, and like he just shows the dad like where to kill like 1,000 fish. I was really surprised because like I thought like they were meant to protect the fish or some shit, and then like he just like commits genocide on the fish, and like I don't know, it was just something funny that I thought not funny, but it's just
Yeah,
I would, as someone as psycho as me, I would go as far as to say I found that funny too. Yeah, that's true. Because he made the start like that little. I actually forget. I was talking about humor earlier. I did find the scene funny when he's like trying to herd the fish. They all seemed like they were buddies, you know. And he's like, Herbert, don't swim away. And then he just murdered Herbert. You know, he just murdered those fish like 2 seconds later.
And I swear they were eating like fish in the pasture as well, because I saw like when they walked in, like the dad was cutting up fish, and I mean like it looked like he was going to put it in the pasta sauce, but then like they gave it to the kids. And I'm like, would the same monsters eat fish? Because that kind of feels like a degree of cannibalism, or like something's like wrong there.
But fish eat other fish, right? Like they're not.
I guess so.
It's true. No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's fair.
Because is a shark a fish?
Yeah,
right. It is, right?
Question.
It is, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think yeah.
So all right, well there you go. They eat fish.
Well, every fish eats other fish, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they have to. They're not going to go to the land to eat unless there's a crab or something. Or...
No, I think they eat like seaweed as well, don't they?
Oh yeah, seaweed. Right.
Do they?
Right. I'm sure some fish do. Yeah.
The race just felt like a weak point, just in general. Like the trying to get away thing, cool and all, but like having them to win a race in order to do so is such a basic kind of complication, you know.
It's not. Look, I totally agree. That's a great point. It's not in Onward. Like it's. I'm specifically comparing it. Like there's like 25 Pixar movies, but these are in our recent memory, right? Onward, it's like, dude, you've got like 24 hours to get here to speak to your dead dad. It's like, oh shit, Jamie Foxx, you're dead. You want to get your life back. Oh shit, and you've got X amount of time to do that. You've got months to train for this like race that, like, no offense, like clearly like 10-year-olds participate in. It's like one of those, I don't know, races that's, I don't know, on a bulletin board at primary school or some shit. Like on the weekend, come down and do this like pasta eating competition and ride your bike. It's like
a very junior Iron Man.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's what it is. And I feel like a serious Iron Man wouldn't even be enough to invest me in this plot, let alone like an 8-year-old version where they have to eat a bowl of
Iron
pasta.
Man would be worse because it's just like just out of place and just like a piss take.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think you're right. I think the stakes are pretty low. I didn't really think about it that way, but you can think of like WALL-E and Toy Story as well. It's like WALL-E, you got to save the Earth. Toy Story, you got to get Toy Story 2. You got to get Buzz back. So like it's big, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not. It doesn't. To my point earlier, it's not about like saving Earth or some bullshit. Like it's stakes that are relevant to the
Right.
characters and in the
Yeah.
world that you're building. You know.
Well, Wally is literally
Yes,
saving Earth, isn't
yes,
it?
exactly. But that works not because it's saving the world in isolation. It works because that's important to Wally in that world, in an Earth and the environmentalist sort of thing there. All right, let's get to Luke's review of Luca. It's a long one, so strap in, everyone. At my first attempt to watch this movie, my internet died. After spending 30 minutes reworking my router and setting up my Chromecast, wow, here's a Chromecast, I watched 2 episodes of Criminal Minds. When I finally decided, yeah,
What's Chromecast?
it's the Google, like it's a little dongle, and it's like Apple TV but Google. Is that yeah?
Yeah.
I think that does it justice. When I finally decided to reattempt my rewatch, dude, this movie is literally every single other movie out there. Start of the movie, young kid walking through the street saying hello to everyone. Locals clearly think he or she is different and annoying. Beauty and the best. The young fish character wants to see the surface world and is fascinated by surface objects despite parental figures telling them it is dangerous. The Little Mermaid. Young water-related adolescence is encouraged to go on an adventure by a grandma who seems kooky. Moana. The moral of the story is acceptance of who you are. Frozen, Wreck-It Ralph, Hunchback of Notre Dame. I haven't seen that movie. Inside Out. Dude, oh, Jaden's face there. Dude with thick eyebrows has a struggling fish industry. Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. What was even the point of this movie? To see the surface world? No, it's to buy a Vespa. No, it's to eat pasta. No, it's to study astronomy. No, it's the Vespa again. I think you mean the Faya. Is that what I said? The Faya? I made my friend, the Faya, I made my friend who I've known a week sad. No, it's going to school. I don't care what kind of pasta monopoly would run this town. The bully characters should not have been allowed to enter the race. Everyone clearly knew he was an annoying twerk.
Twerk.
Why don't the police care that there have been reports of 2 adults that have been harassing children with water? If you're telling me that people can dry themselves by rubbing their wet face with their wet hands, or by getting airtime from the ocean, and god damn it, okay, this was pretty good actually. Those 2 old ladies were fish people, and then the village has a strong passion for killing sea monsters is overruled by our eyebrow man. Have we just lost every single listener? Like every single one throughout this thing? At least there was no flashback to eyebrows getting attacked by a monster for character development. I would have liked that. The movie was pretty, at least 3 out of 10.
3.
That's. I agree with all that. That's cool.
Thanks, Luke. There's a lot. I don't know. There was a lot there, Luke. I don't know if there's really if we have the passion left to break it down for this movie. You know what I mean? I think we're good. I mean, in the movie's defense, you definitely point out some very valid similarities, but that's sort of just. I mean, I want to say Disney storytelling, but it's also just storytelling. You know what I mean?
The problem is there's too many cliches.
Sure, they stack up.
I think even if you make an original story, there's going to be maybe a couple of cliches here and there, especially if you watch more movies, you see more things, you see repeating patterns. But I think Luke isn't someone who watches as many movies as we do, and even if he's seeing cliches everywhere, then I think it is a little bit of a problem.
Do you reckon he actually thinks it's a 3 out of 10, or is this him sort of playing into his character a little bit?
No, I think it felt like if the words conveyed a 3 out of 10. I feel
he actually used Letterboxd and rated a 3 out of 10. So
question answered. Very well. I'm going to try my best to get our energy back up as we transition out of the review segment, but just while we're at a bit of a low, while we're at a bit of a chill zone here in the episode, I will read you the trivia, because that's normally the sort of vibe that the trivia elicits.
Are you softening your voice or some shit? Because I feel like...
Yeah, I am.
No, don't do that, mate.
What does it do for you? Does it creep you out a little bit?
No, it's just weird, mate.
It's just... Oh.
It's...
Honestly, I wouldn't say I was trying. I am now because I'm still doing it. Border Rosa can be seen as an advertisement on a travel agency window in Seoul. And when asked why he chose Luca as the film's title, the director said that he based the film on his friendship with his childhood friend Alberto, but he couldn't just use his own name in the film, so he chose Luca because it's simpler and it is, quote, well pronounced in America too. I think there's some.
Wait, so what's his
alright
name?
trivia.
Is his name like?
Oh Lord, don't make me say it again.
No, like is his first name like Luca or something?
His first name is Enrico.
Wait, how's that what is his last name translate to Luca? Or what is it?
No. Do you want me to read the trivia again? Do you want me to read it again?
Okay,
I'll read it again for you. But he couldn't just use his own name in the film, so he chose Luca because it's simple and it's pronounced well in America too.
So it's not based on his name. It's not based on anything. Then it's just
he just chose it because it's simple and it's pronounced well in America too.
Okay.
So much of this is getting cut. What are the final verdicts for Pixar's Luca, Jaden?
Oh, only one bit of trivia?
There was definitely two there. There was definitely two. Do you
Was
want me to
there?
read them both again?
No.
from the top.
I swear you already said, what the fuck? I swear there was only one. Hold on.
There was two. It's fine.
It's a 6 out of 10 for me, personally. Yeah, it's just where it sits, you know. I think we've discussed it's pretty middle of the road everywhere.
It's so average. Yeah, I don't know. It's. I think it's yeah. I'm probably a lot lower than you guys. I think it's pretty. Like when a movie is just too nothing, too average, it just drags it down a lot for me. So, yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah, pretty bad.
No, just to be clear, Fitzy, because I feel like you've been sort of like, I don't know, you've been sort of teasing us in these final verdicts a little bit. What do you want to do with your verdicts? Do you just want to do what you just did and like give like just a summary and that's it? No numerical value of any kind, no scale.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I just want to be prepared for it, is all. Because then I'm sort of left like, are you gonna give it a number? You gonna do it?
No, I'll just leave it at that.
Cool. I'll give it a 6. It sounds like I feel like we actually sort of started. Maybe this is the way we're wording things. I feel like we sort of started level and then like Fitzy went more negative than I sort of thought. Because I do like the movie. It's just, I think, just by nature of what it is, there's not much for me to criticize. I just think by nature of what it is, it didn't resonate as much as it could have. Is all. Let's get into news chat. The Witcher Season 2, baby. It is happening. It is releasing on December 17th, 2021. Exactly, I think 2 years to the day from Season 1 dropping, which is exciting. There was a teaser trailer. I did not watch it. And I've sort of noticed myself, like I've been watching less trailers in general. I don't know why. I feel like a year ago I would have watched this, but I didn't. But Fitzy, you did.
Oh, am I the only one that watched it? Oh, okay.
I want you to like describe it to me. I want you to tell me about it. I want to envision this trailer without actually.
Well, it actually got me a little excited for this next season because it looks like it's going to be heavily based on. It looks like it's going to be like The Road or like The Last of Us kind of thing between Geralt and Ciri, like kind of that father-daughter relationship thing. So I don't know. I'm excited to see that in The Witcher. I think I've only watched like 4 episodes of the first season, but the first season was a bunch of. And it wasn't based on the short stories. It's just a bunch of kind of semi-related, mini stories. So it wasn't as satisfying as a full length, I don't know, season could be just as a full story. So it looks like it's going to be pretty decent. Yeah.
Cool. I was not expecting to hear that about the sort of Last of Us vibes, to be honest.
Well,
so that's neat.
I don't know, maybe not a lot, but just, that kind of...
The father-daughter thing.
Yeah, we're just gamers, so we describe any father-daughter relationship as Last of Us vibes.
I feel like we actually have done that many times. Yeah, right. Or Logan. Yeah, it's like one of the two. They have to compare it.
Well, I mean, The Road, I guess, yeah.
That's a son, so it doesn't count.
Oh, shit.
No, you're totally right. No, The Last of Us has totally got The Road written all over it, totally. And we had a Star Wars Visions trailer. I believe this came out not long after you guys did the episode last week, so it sort of just fell into that weird spot sometimes. But I mean, I feel like I should share some thoughts because it's what I do here. Star Wars, something comes up, and this shit does not do anything for me, dude. I mean, I'm gonna watch it for sure. I hope I like it. I'm remaining very open minded. I don't want to sound like, oh, this shit's gonna suck or anything, but from what we're seeing, it's just I have to ask the question at some point. I do hope you guys like watch the teaser or something just so you can sort of relate to what I'm saying, but a little bit. But I have to ask the question, what is Star Wars? And it sounds like the most like, oh, here we go, Zach's about to get pretentious. But, and you can say it to any franchise, I guess, but this is a show, if you don't know, it is an anime anthology series. There are going to be, I think it was 8 episodes. These are basically they are Star Wars anime short films, completely isolated from each other. Each developed by a different anime studio, and none of it is canon. All the characters are original, at least as I don't know, maybe they do something weird, but as far as we can tell. And I just have to ask the question with that, like, what makes this Star Wars now? That's sort of just where I stand. Like, you're not going to connect it in any way to any timeline we understand, which I don't have a problem with inherently. But then it's like, it doesn't, anime just, maybe my bias is coming through, but it just, when I see the little snippets of shots we get, it just doesn't look like Star Wars, It just looks like anime with spaceships and, oh, look, they can use a lightsaber. You know what I mean? And to be honest, even the lightsabers didn't look like lightsabers. So it's just sort of like, okay, this could be neat. So that's just where I stand with it. I'll watch it. I hope I like it. And, even if my final verdict ends up being it doesn't really feel like it belongs in Star Wars, but it's just cool stories anyway, then that's going to be perfectly fine for me. So we'll see what happens.
Bro, it looks sick. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm down for that. I just clicked through it and that looks great.
Yeah. But do you understand where I'm coming from?
No, I 100% get what you're saying. But I mean, like, anytime they would have gone to Old Republic or, and any time they change the timeline significantly, you could raise the same question.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I guess it's just the culmination of they're doing the canon stuff, like going away from canon, with the aesthetic difference. It's sort of too much for my like rigid brain to handle.
Well, I think it looks like Star Wars. I think it's identifiable enough. And I saw there was like a storyboard of like Jabba in it, or like a hut at least that looks like Jabba.
I don't remember the hut shot. If that's if it looks like Jabba, that's cool. That sounds interesting. There was one shot of like people facing off like they're about to have a lightsaber duel, and the lightsabers don't even look like lightsabers, and it's just like, what,
Well, that could just be one of the animations. You said it's like 8 different studios, so that could just be one of the stories.
No, definitely. Highlights of the week. Fitzy, what have you been watching, bro?
I think killing them softly probably is my highlight. It's it's kind of a weird. It's like a slower paced mob movie with like who's in it? Brad Pitt and what's the Australian actor? James Gandolfini is in it for. It's the first movie I've seen him in. He plays this kind of like he's this slimy. He's like Tony Soprano, but just like kind of slimier. He was really great. He only did a couple scenes, but he was really great. Ben Mendelsohn. He plays this really like sweaty.
Everyone's slimy and sweaty in this.
Oh yeah, it's like
is the next dude going to be slippery?
Movie of all time, yeah. But like yeah, it's just this really dirty gangster film about the U.S. economy under Barack Obama. So I mean, it's like there's constant the radio is constantly in the background, and it's always like they're talking about the economic state of America in like 2008 or something, and the movie is like kind of allegorical about that because like this underground poker club gets robbed, and yeah, it's interesting that way, but some really like out there performances. It's really violent as well. There's a scene where Ray Liotta, the main character, Henry Hill in Goodfellas, he's just like old, kind of he's this old guy in this film, and there's a scene where he's getting beaten. That's really like hard to watch. Like you feel really bad for him because his face is just like he's like crying out for his mother. And he's just like it's such a good scene. But yeah, it's a very unique film. I'd recommend it. Yeah, there's some unique visual choices as well that I recall. Definitely, the movie feels different at different times. So yeah. And there's conversation between Brad Pitt and James Gandolfini, which is just gold as
Oh
well. So
shit! Oh shit!
I'd watch it just for those. Yeah.
Brad Pitt's in it too, dude.
Oh
He
yeah,
said
he's
Brad
like,
Pitt at the start.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry.
well, he's like the mercenary. Like he got a what do you call it? Like the hitman character. Yeah.
Killing me softly.
Killing them softly.
Killing
Yes.
them softly. All right. Very good. What about you, Jad?
We all watched Black Widow.
We did.
I was shocked at your score, Finny. Kind of, a little bit.
I don't know why.
Yeah, no, neither do I really. I'm so conflicted. I'm so conflicted with this movie. I like truly conflicted because like I look at because I gave it a 7 and I look at that and I'm like, and then I think back to certain moments and I'm like, there's no way that I can justify a 7. But then what I wrote about on thing about like how like every few seconds it you can feel like Kate Shortland like shining through. Like I think that rings true just to me, and it really does feel like an alternating film every fucking 5 seconds. And like it's weird because there's so much I don't like, but I just like it just feels like a 7. And like I think there's so many great moments, and I think the real problem is like wasted potential and like focusing too much on the shit that didn't need to be, and like them like overlooking other stuff. And like I don't like the path they take with one of the characters and stuff like that. But like it's such a strange thing, and like yeah, it's because it's so generic. But then there's also like this adversity that comes through it as well, and like it really has left me very conflicted. But like I think it's like one of my favorite Marvel movies. But like saying that, it doesn't feel right because like there's so much that I don't like, but there is so much. Yeah.
I mean, your post on Letterboxd was very well written. I appreciate it.
Was it? It was like 2 sentences.
I thought so. It was very well written. 2 sentences. I thought. I don't know. I just thought the movie was fine. I thought it was totally fine. I think maybe like it's another thing where it's like, dude, how much do I care about the score? Like, it's another thing where like I gave it. Look at what I gave, and it's like, I don't know. Was that a bit harsh? Maybe. Like it's that or a 6. Like whatever. Yeah.
Well, I think the fact that Riley gave it a 9, which I wasn't expecting, and then you gave it a 5, I was like, oh, okay.
The contrast. I just feel like it failed to deliver on. I didn't think it was bad at all. I chuckled a lot. I thought Florence Pugh was great, but I just think as on a story level, just failed to really bring something to the table when you're making a Black Widow movie after she's died. Not that I was expecting some like crazy like character study or anything, but I just feel like emotionally, like the film didn't really leverage the fact that we are all well aware that this character is dead and that this is her last outing. I feel like if this movie, like if you told me I'm watching a movie that came out in 2017, obviously barring the post-credit sequence, I feel like there was an opportunity there, I guess. And forgetting that for a second, like that's sort of my more like what I would have loved, but I just thought the action was kind of lame. And
well, I think part of that just comes, and like Kate Shortland's never directed anything this like near this scale.
You can see it, yeah, yeah.
I think the first time we were introduced to the Taskmaster, I thought that was pretty sick.
That was good. Yeah.
Oh, when he like torpedoed her car.
Yeah, and
there was some cool shots.
That little like hand to hand like bit after that.
Yeah, and the choreography between her and Florence Pugh in the apartment.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, I don't got nothing else to say. I thought it was fine. What about you, Fitzy? I don't know with your lack of scoring on Letterboxd, which I appreciate you doing you, but I now just don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what you thought. What the hell? Did you think it was a 5 out of 5?
Mysterious.
Very mysterious.
I thought it was pretty good actually. I was surprised. I mean, I think you talk about the emotions. I think this is one of the most like emotionally invested I've been in a film. Just like sorry, not in a film,
In a
in a
film.
Marvel MCU film.
Sure.
Just like with the I don't know the dynamic between Florence Pugh and Scarlett Johansson was really good, and the family stuff. I thought the film was very funny. Yeah, like a lot of jokes landed, as I said earlier, for me, and the Red Room stuff was really bad. I thought like the dialogue there was
Yeah,
just super
yeah.
bad. But
When you're in the villain's like office or whatever.
yeah,
The entire third act just feels too plain.
yeah, I think like the just I don't know. The dialogue specifically was terrible. Like, there's a line in the film. He says like, "You can't attack me because my pheromones are like you're smelling my pheromones," and
What?
like shit,
I don't
shit
remember
like
that at
that. I didn't remember it either, but
all.
second time I paid attention to it. But
Yeah.
yeah, the first and second act I thought were really really good actually. And I don't know, I like the score and some of the
I
soundtrack
liked the
as
score
well.
too. I did.
Yeah, and what's that? Yeah, like American Pie. I don't know. Some of the songs in there are pretty good. So
Very good. Oh shit! I still have to go. Um, I finished. God, I feel like I had a bit of a negative week. Damn, dude. I finished Castlevania, and I thought the final season sucked. I thought it really sucked. I was really disappointed. Um, the first 2 seasons are great. Honestly, I feel like season 1 is literally 4 episodes, 20 minutes. I feel season 1 feels like a prologue. Like season 1 and 2 are basically season 1. You know what I mean? I don't know like why they even bothered with season 1. It was sort of weird, but maybe they didn't have the budget or something. But um, that first half of the show, I guess, I thought was really great. Um, it sort of centers around the coming together of these interesting characters in a world that's really awesome and coming together to defeat Dracula. Who like in the games, like in the I actually don't know if it works the same as the show, but in the games lore, Dracula lives in Castlevania and he returns every 100 years basically to try and kill humanity, and it's really neat. They give Dracula's side like plenty of scenes too, and plenty of like you really are invested in his motivations too. It's not just like Dracula's some bullshit like nameless boss or whatever. Like you give a shit about what's going on in his side too. Really great stuff. And then I just really didn't like it, and I was surprised. Like as far as I can see, everyone seems to love the show as a whole. Like everyone seemed to love the final season. But it just sucked. Like there was 10 episodes, 20 minutes long. Um, the dialogue is terrible. There when you've got a 20-minute animated show, there are scenes that go that are conversations between two characters that last 10 minutes. I'm not even kidding. Like, and they're so boring and they talk in circles. And it's like, dude, just get to the point of this scene. If you're writing a scene, every scene in every show, film that's ever created has a point, has a purpose. And it's so painfully obvious what the purpose of this scene is. Just get to it. Jesus Christ. They just talk around and around. Outside of that, just the ending. The ending was lame. It was uninteresting. I thought at the end of the second last episode, they did something with a character that was somewhat emotionally impactful and they immediately reverse it. And it's just not what you want from an ending of a TV show that you thought you had investment in. It's just no emotional weight, no real stakes. The plot purely structurally sucked. I'd sort of love to talk spoilers with someone who's seen it, but I'm sure we all feel that way plenty of times when we bring stuff up on the show. But yeah, really, honestly, sort of turns me off recommending the whole thing, which sucks because I do think the first 2 seasons are worth a watch. But then it's one of those things like I wouldn't want someone to recommend to me the first 2 seasons of a show, but don't watch 3 and 4. You know, it's like recommend the whole thing or don't. Like, the show is worth it or it isn't. And if I have to answer it that way, it isn't, unfortunately. As always, now we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you, or you guys asked everyone actually. I didn't ask it. What is your favourite? What is your most rewatched movie? Luke said, "Wow, I can't believe you guessed it, Liam. I must have rewatched Monsters vs. Aliens 20 times. I was able to recite the movie by heart in primary school. It's certainly my most watched movie, but not my favourite." I'm glad he clarified that because I would have been a bit concerned otherwise. Andy said, "The movie I believe that I've rewatched the most is Chungking Express, directed by Wong Kar-wai. I think that's fine. If we all had a movie that we could put on repeat on Spotify, Chungking Express is my film. But if I had to choose another film that people actually know," I appreciate that, "it's got to be Fantastic Mr. Fox. Very rewatchable, very easy to watch again, never gets boring, memorable back and forth, witty dialogue, and George Clooney's voice as Mr. Fox is soothing AF. Do I sound hip saying AF? I really like answering this question, by the way." I'm glad, Andy. Thank you. It's good to know that someone enjoyed answering one of these questions and it wasn't homework. Fitzy, what is your most rewatched movie of all time? You have to have the stats. Do you have your stats? Do you have the spreadsheet?
I have them in here.
I've got one right here.
Yeah, this question was actually pretty hard, I think. And I don't know. Actually, I lied. I actually don't know the stats, and I don't know if this is accurate. But yeah, I know. But I think my most rewatched movie is Limitless with Bradley Cooper.
Holy shit! I was not expecting that.
No, because like in high school and like early in high school, I used to watch movies that are free on YouTube, and somehow Limitless was always free on YouTube. There was always some variety of it on YouTube. So I don't know. I just rewatch that shit all the time, man.
That's great. That's so funny. Well, hang on, but at that time, that movie wasn't even that old. How was it free on YouTube? What the hell? That's so weird. Yeah. It's so weird.
Dude, I used to fucking love that movie. Though. I mean, it's I don't know. It's just energetic, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't like it as much today at all, but
Have you rewatched it in recent times?
No, I haven't actually. Not really.
You probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't.
Probably shouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
No, it's an alright movie. It's an alright movie. Of course, my opinion is definitive. Obviously, Jaden.
I'm not quite sure. It's between. It's either Inception, Hot Fuzz, or Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. It's one of those three. But like, they're all in the teens. It's something like 14, 15 for each of them. I'm just not sure which one's higher.
I mean, those are some great movies that you've chosen right there. I mean, I think mine is... I mean, it's just which Star Wars movie it is, isn't it? That's all I'm asking. That's the only question I'm asking. I mean, it's probably Empire, or it might be A New Hope. It's probably one of those two. I mean, it's definitely not any of the newer movies. It's definitely not... It might be The Phantom Menace. That's possible. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those ones. It's sort of in that space there. It's not Attack of the Clones. It's not Attack of the Clones. You know, Attack of the Clones is a movie that even when I was 8 and, had seen it probably 3 times, even I knew then it was boring, So, like, that's saying something.
I think I ate that shit up when I was younger. Because I have like a very specific memory of like we bought a rental property and we spent like I don't know a few months because it was old when we spent a few months just like there every day just fixing it up. And obviously I was young, so I couldn't really do too much. So we had a portable DVD player.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Those were a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like the 7-inch screen. I just watched that movie and dude, I'd gobble that up.
That's great. Oh, I'm so... The portable DVD player has never come up on this show, and I'm so glad it has now because that shit is hot. I remember... So, okay, this makes no sense now. I watched Return of the King for the first time on a portable DVD player sitting in my house. And I've got no idea why. Like, why didn't I just have it on the TV? Maybe there was a reason.
The tapes that I had, like the videotapes, were Star Wars, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and then the Lord of the Rings movies. And I'd always try to watch the Lord of the Rings movies on like VCR, videotape, but I'd always fall asleep. So
yes, because they're long and boring movies, as we all know. All right. As always, we'd love you to submit your questions, thoughts, reviews for next week's film in the YouTube comment section or send us a DM on Instagram. But the specific question we'll be asking you this week is, what is your favourite Henry Cavill performance? You've got a grand total of 2 to choose from. So let us know. You got more. You got more. If you're more worldly than me, you've got more. That's for sure. But that's it for this week's episode of Cinema Effect. Thanks everyone for joining us for this interesting after dark adventure.
I think it felt after dark at moments for sure.
It definitely, yeah, you're absolutely right. It really did.
Yeah.
I really felt that as I was reading Luke's comment. Fitzy, what are we watching next week?
Next week we're doing Cargo. It's an Australian zombie post-apocalypse movie with Martin Freeman. Jaden chose it for the poll and he won, and it's free. Not free. It's on Netflix. It's free on Netflix if you pay for Netflix. But yeah.
Yeah. I love that when it's like that game is free on PlayStation if you pay for PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Sorry, how many months in a row did you win, Zach? Was it 5?
I don't think it was that much, was it? Was it 4?
I think it was 5 because.
Oh, okay.
Because yeah. All right, so I've got 3 more to win before I can. Before I can.
I'll just put up Australia again. No one will know. I'll just win again.
Could you actually put that up again and it wins? That'd be so fun.
And, oh my god, we can start like a sub series of Cinema Effect episode like called Revisited, and we do Australia Revisited.
Yes.
And then it's just like, and then it can be like Australia Revisited. Goes forever. Just have to keep watching that movie. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining me after dark. It's so, you guys have got no idea, listeners, how late it is right now. We're recording. It's crazy late right now. It's wild. And we'll see you all in the next episode. Have a great rest of your week and goodbye.